Toby and the Lobsters. Toby has always been good with animals, whether they be bulls, sheep, pigs, cats, or dogs. All creatures big and small warm up to Toby's good nature. For this reason, the tram engine is often given livestock trains during market season. The other branch line engines are more than capable of pulling these trains, but they feel it is wiser to let Toby take them, as he has never had an incident with any of the market trains. The Fat Controller had added a buffet car to the express after receiving many letters of suggestion for it by passengers. A catering company had been hired out to cook meals in the car. The passengers adored all the fine food, but the most popular dish was the lobster. The lobsters came from the harbor on Thomas's branch line. Usually, the lorries would deliver them to shops in the town, but ever since the buffet car and the demand for the lobsters, it became far too much for them. The Fat Controller had purchased refrigerated vans for the railway to help deliver the lobsters. Percy was given the task of delivering the vans to the big station. The men hurried about with the crates, loading them safely into the vans. At last, the guard blew his whistle, and Percy set off quickly. Too quickly. The vans jerked forward and banged into each other as Percy rushed out of the port.
Mustn't be late, mustn't be late. These lobsters are too important to be delayed,
puffed Percy as he sped along. His driver tried correcting his speed several times, but no matter how much he tried, Percy would not slow down. They reached a particularly bumpy section of track. When they reached the big station, Percy was feeling as proud as Punch. He was still feeling confident as the men began unloading the vans.
"Oi!"
called a workman as some of the crates fell on top of him the moment he opened the door. Percy blushed in embarrassment. He knew the Fat Controller would be cross with him. And he was.
"I'm most disappointed in you, Percy,"
scolded Sir Topham Hatt to Percy at the sheds that night.
"I cannot trust you to take the lobsters again. The catering service hadn't enough of them to serve the passengers. I have been buried in complaints all day."
"I'm sorry, sir,"
Percy said meekly.
"Now, I must find a replacement engine to take the train tomorrow morning,"
pondered the Fat Controller. "Please, sir," said a voice. "May I pull it?" It was Toby returning to the shed.
"Please, sir, we all know how capable Toby is of taking any livestock train. I'm sure the lobsters would be a cinch for him."
The Fat Controller smiled warmly at the old tram.
"What a splendid idea. I'll make the arrangements right away. I'm sure you won't have any trouble, Toby."
Toby beamed and went happily to sleep. He awoke bright and early the following day as his fireman prepared his fire. As soon as he was ready, he set off to the harbor with the vans. He shunted the vans into place, and the workmen began loading them with the crates. Toby was examining the crate carefully. He had never seen a lobster before and wanted a closer look.
"Could you quickly show me what they look like?"
he asked. The workman obliged and opened the crate. Toby was surprised. They were long and all red, very peculiar looking, not like any animal I've seen before. The workman chuckled and turned to walk to the van. As he took a step, he tripped over his laces and spilled the crate. Lobsters went everywhere.
"Ow!" cried a voice. "Get it off! Get it off!"
It was Toby, with one of the lobsters dangling off his nose. The workmen, his crew, and the guard couldn't help but laugh at the poor tram. They weren't laughing when they all struggled to pry the lobster's claw off of Toby's nose.
"Not even Champion gave me this much trouble,"
squirmed Toby as he finally set off, his voice sounding all funny. As agitated as he was, Toby gave a steady and smooth ride with the vans, all the way to the big station.
"Finally,"
Toby sighed as he braked to a gentle halt. The Fat Controller stepped out of his office and came to congratulate Toby. He had to stifle a laugh when he saw him. He coughed and recovered.
"It's great to, see you got the lobsters here safely. The men, shall unload them. They won't be bothering you much longer.
chuckled Sir Topham Hatt.
Thank you, sir. I don't mean to sound shellfish, but may I return to the sheds and have my nose seen to?
Said Toby nasally.
Of course, Toby.
From then on, Toby always pulled the lobster train with no more incidents. But he was always careful around the crates ever since. Lobsters and I don't really see eye to eye. Nor should I say, buffer to claw.